Ladies and gentlemen, NFL fans across the globe, brace yourselves because the football world has just been shaken to its absolute core. The Dallas Cowboys, America's team, have just pulled off one of the most unexpected, jaw-dropping moves in recent NFL history by signing none other than Jared Goff as their brand new star quarterback, sending shockwaves through every media outlet, fanbase, and front office in the league. Yes, you heard that right, Jared Goff, the former number 1 overall pick, Pro Bowler, and the man who helped lead the Detroit Lions out of the shadows and into playoff contention, is now the face of the Dallas Cowboys franchise, and this seismic move is already being hailed as a blockbuster that could redefine the trajectory of the NFL for years to come. Now, before we break down the implications of this stunning acquisition, let's rewind a bit to understand how we even got here, because for the longest time it seemed like the Cowboys were married to Dak Prescott, the man who had been under center for nearly a decade, through highs and lows, and while Dak certainly had his moments, some truly impressive, no doubt the lingering question always hung heavy over at Stadium: was he ever going to be that guy, the one who could take the Cowboys not just to the playoffs, but to the promised land of the Super Bowl? And with each passing season, as Dallas continued to show regular season potential only to crash out in dramatic fashion come January, that doubt grew louder, until eventually the murmurs of discontent became too strong to ignore, and now, after months of behind-the-scenes negotiations, rumors, smokescreens, and what appears to be a complete philosophical pivot from the Jones family, the Cowboys made the move no one saw coming, cutting ties with Prescott and bringing in Jared Goff, a quarterback who, just a few short years ago, many had written off after his turbulent departure from the Los Angeles Rams, only to resurrect his career in Detroit in spectacular fashion. Goff's resurgence with the Lions was one of the best comeback stories in recent NFL memory, taking a franchise that had long been a league-wide punchline and transforming them into a legitimate contender, showing poise, maturity, and leadership under pressure, and proving to critics that he wasn't just a system QB or a one-hit wonder from the Sean McVay era. He was, and still is, the real deal. And now, with the ink barely dry on what insiders are calling a mega deal rumored to be worth well north of $200 million over 5 years, Goff steps into the massive spotlight that comes with wearing the star on your helmet, a spotlight that has broken lesser men and catapulted others into football immortality. And the big question on everyone's lips is simple: is Jared Goff the man who can finally deliver the Cowboys their elusive 6th Super Bowl title? And the buzz around the league is absolutely electric, with analysts, former players, and fans split down the middle, some calling this a masterstroke of genius, while others see it as a massive gamble. But if there's one thing we know about Jerry Jones, it's that he doesn't make moves quietly, and when he decides to swing, he swings big, and this, folks, is a swing for the fences. Sources close to the Cowboys front office say that this decision has been brewing since late last season, when frustrations with Dak's inconsistent play and his inability to elevate the team in key moments boiled over, especially after the disappointing playoff exit, which once again saw the Cowboys underperform when it mattered most. Enter Jared Goff, who, by contrast, was earning rave reviews for his clutch play in Detroit, his calm under pressure, and his growing reputation as one of the smartest quarterbacks in the game. And now, with a much larger media spotlight on him and a much more demanding fan base, Goff will have to prove that his success in Detroit wasn't just a fluke or the result of favorable coaching. He's walking into a locker room loaded with talent, from CeeDee Lamb, one of the most dynamic wide receivers in the league, to Micah Parsons, in a defense that's been one of the most feared units in the NFL. And this team is built to win now, which makes this move all the more dramatic, because the Cowboys aren't rebuilding, they're not planning for the future they believed. Goff is the missing piece, the final gear in a championship machine, and expectations are sky high from day one. And of course, the reaction from fans has been explosive, with social media lighting up in the hours following the announcement, from Cowboys fans posting memes of Goff in blue and silver, to Lions fans expressing everything from shock to heartbreak, to conspiracy theories about backdoor deals and locker room drama. And let's not forget the Dak Prescott angle here, because while his exit was somewhat expected in the long term, The abrupt nature of this change and the lack of a farewell press conference have left many wondering what really went down behind closed doors. Was this a mutual parting of ways? Or was Dak blindsided by the front office's decision to move on? And where does he go next? Early speculation links him to several QB-hungry franchises, but for now, the spotlight is firmly on Goff and his new chapter in Dallas. And speaking of pressure, there's perhaps no quarterback job in the NFL that comes with more scrutiny than the one in Dallas. Every throw, every play, every mistake will be dissected by analysts, debated by fans, and turned into content by the media machine. But if there's one thing Goff has proven, it's that he thrives when counted out, and with the Cowboys giving him full control of the offense under new offensive coordinator Kellen Moore, who, in a twist of irony, returns after a year away and reportedly had a major hand in targeting Goff. This could be the perfect storm of veteran QB with something to prove, a high-powered offense hungry for leadership, and a fanbase desperate for postseason glory. The stakes have never been higher, and the NFL landscape just got a whole lot more interesting. And make no mistake, this move changes everything, not just for the Cowboys, but for the entire NFC, with the Eagles, 49ers, and now potentially the Lions facing a dramatically different Cowboys team this season. The race to the Super Bowl just got a new contender, and you can bet every defensive coordinator in the league is already pulling tape on Goff, trying to find weaknesses, trying to figure out how to stop what could be one of the most potent offenses we've seen in recent memory. And as training camp approaches, all eyes will be on Oxnard, where Goff will don the Cowboys practice jersey for the first time, and every rep, every interaction with teammates, every interview will be analyzed for signs of chemistry, confidence, and leadership. This is a moment that could define his legacy, because love them or hate them, the Dallas Cowboys are the biggest brand in football, and if Goff can take this team deep into the playoffs, or dare we say, all the way to the Super Bowl, he won't just be remembered as the guy who resurrected his career in Detroit. He'll go down in history as the man who finally brought a championship back to Big D. And as for Jerry Jones, who's always believed in doing things the flashy way, he may have just placed the biggest bet of his football life, betting that Jared Goff, not Dak Prescott, not Trey Lance, not any rookie, is the quarterback to lead this storied franchise into a new era. Only time will tell if that bet pays off, but one thing is for sure, the NFL will be watching, the FANS will be watching, and the countdown to kickoff has never felt more intense. Jared Goff, the new star quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, standing in front of a microphone with the star behind him, answering questions about expectations, pressure, and possibility, while fans hold their breath, media cameras flash, and every team in the league begins to wonder, did the Cowboys just make the move that finally brings them back to the promised land, or have they bet the house on a mirage? A flash of hope that will